Hi everyone, Al DeMarco here, General Manager of DeMarcoSports.com. This is going to be your Friday video report, 18-4 roll with my last 22 complimentary plays in college basketball. That's over the past 2 weeks. Yesterday took a split, cashed in with Texas A&M, lost with Loyola of Chicago, but more importantly, yesterday my best bet on DeMarcoSports.com happened to be South Carolina, 6.5-point choice, getting the job done by 14 over Arkansas. So today, top-rated 15-dime best bet winner in college hoops, number 8 out of 11, and third in 3 days. It's a tournament mismatch where I think this team is going to cover by at least 7 points. And once again, it's going to be the half-price play of the day over at DeMarcoSports.com. And let's come up with a very original coupon code for it. Yes, let's use the word HALF, H-A-L-F. If you're interested, that is the coupon to get it for the half-price play of the day, as I continue to show you that you don't have to spend big money to make big money in this little thing we call gambling that we all love. By the way, I have not lost many complimentary plays, right? And Shawn Michaels, who I noted yesterday, has been the most consistent and hottest handicapper the entire season at DeMarcoSports.com. And yesterday, of course, I talked about him. Did he not have Loyola of Chicago? I saw afterwards, after I put my video up, and of course I had the free play. I, of course, jinxed Shawn yesterday, but if you happen to watch that Loyola of Chicago game against St. Bonaventure. Now remember, the Ramblers came into that game having won 10 of their last 11. The only loss at St. Bonnie, right? They were up as a 2.5-point favorite by about 11 points, I think it was, with 6 minutes to go, 5-6 minutes to go. And they had not trailed in that game at all. And St. Bonnie scored the final 11 points of regulation to force overtime. Then St. Bonnie is up, I believe, by 3 points in the second overtime. And then one of their guys fouls one of the St. Bonnie players in the act of shooting when he was going for a three-pointer. And ultimately, the guy for St. Bonnie hits all 3 shots. And that's how St. Bonaventure wins the damn game. I mean, it was just an amazing loss. Great win if you happen to be on St. Bonnie yesterday. But if you happen to be on the Ramblers, clearly, St. Bonaventure has Loyola's number. So, interesting, though, that the Atlantic 10 tournament takes today off instead of making your teams play so many games in so many days, and they resume tomorrow with the semifinals. But Richmond is knocked out of the tournament. Duquesne knocks Dayton out of that tournament as well. I'm not really surprised there because you take Dayton out of UD Arena, out of Dayton, and the Flyers just can't win anywhere. But anyway, that's for tomorrow to discuss. Let's get to your complimentary plays today. My first one, I'm going to take a look at the Arizona game against Oregon. This is a interesting one because, listen, I was a little concerned with how Arizona would respond yesterday against USC because USC played such good defense against Arizona and knocking off the Wildcats in the team's regular season finale. Well, Arizona kicked the hell out of USC yesterday, did they not? After USC finished the regular season with a flourish and then, of course, took care of business against Washington on Wednesday. Well, Arizona yesterday, 70-49, and Tommy Lloyd, Arizona head coach, now a perfect 7-0 in Pac-12 tournament play in his career. And this Arizona team, you know, somewhat inconsistent at times this year, but bottom line, 25-7 straight up, 21-10-1 against the spread. They're a money-making team, and I've got to go with them here. At home in Tucson in the regular season finale for both teams, they won 103-83. It was a high-scoring game, a game that obviously didn't feature much defense as Arizona shot a little over 60% and Oregon shot a little over 52%. Caleb Love, the leading scorer and a potential Pac-12 Player of the Year candidate, had 22 points for the Wildcats. In the first go-round, when Arizona snapped a 6-game losing streak in Eugene and also was just 2 days removed from a stunning 3-point loss at Oregon State, and you know how bad the Beavers were this year, Love went crazy, matching his career high with 36 points when Arizona won that game 87-78. So I'm going to go with Arizona in this game. I was not impressed by the Ducks' win against UCLA yesterday. They pulled it off 68-66. But remember, this was also a game that they trailed by 5 at halftime. So I have no qualms with laying the 11 points with Arizona in that particular game. You know, I looked at Kentucky today, but, you know, Coach Cal makes it quite clear that he could care less about the college conference tournaments. He's made it quite clear that the only thing he cares about is the big dance. And do you feel relatively comfortable laying points with this Kentucky team despite their flourish at the finish of the regular season, including the upset win against Tennessee on the road, against Texas A&M, which admittedly has played pretty well here in the first 2 days of the SEC tournament? I certainly don't, especially with that line going from 3.5 to 5.5 from overnight to this morning. Instead, I'm going to go back to South Florida, a team that I rode a few times during the latter stages of the season and then rode them one time too many when I had them against Tulsa in their regular season finale. And Tulsa pulled off the upset, shocking the Bulls and ending their 15-game winning streak. The way I look at USF is that this team is potentially a bubble team. They've got to win their conference tournament. And they open today, taking on in the quarterfinals in Fort Worth, because why the hell would you not play this conference tournament in Fort Worth? Makes no sense to me. But anyway, USF looking to rebound from that loss to Tulsa and taking on East Carolina, who ironically beat Tulsa yesterday to advance to today's quarterfinals. In the regular season meeting, South Florida won 71-60 at East Carolina back on January 31st. Outshot the Pirates in that game, nearly 51% to 31%. You know, East Carolina had lost 5 straight games before beating Tulsa yesterday, 84-79. And the way they did it was the Golden Hurricane was deadly from beyond the arc. But instead, East Carolina just constantly funneled the ball down low. They dominated the boards, dominated in the paint. But I think South Florida will be primed here. They've had the extra time to get over that loss. The line has moved up to 7, but I like South Florida in this particular spot. Let's see, anybody else that I really liked? I mean, there's a lot of games here, but I'll tell you, it's a lot of trash on today's card. So that really, hold it. I have so many notes here. I'm just scrolling through to see if there's anybody else that I actually particularly care for. Oh, here's one. Here's one for you. You're going to be shocked, I'm going to dip my toes into the SWAC tournament, and I like Texas Southern. Listen, this is a team that's, you know, always a postseason favorite to go and punch its big dance ticket. 3-time defending tournament champion, a 5-point favorite today, taking on who the hell are they taking? Alabama A&M. Quick, Alabama A&M. What is their nickname? Yeah, I had to look it up too. It was the Bulldogs. I had no idea before actually handicapping this game. But Alabama A&M, I think, is in a deficit because they had to play yesterday, or they played Wednesday, taking on Alcorn State. But the problem here is that this has been historically such a one-sided series with Texas Southern winning 20 in a row and 31 of the past 32 in this series, including the only regular season meeting. Now, Texas Southern opened with a horrible season this year. They lost 9 of their first 10 games. But they didn't play their first road game until like December 30th of this year. And if you looked at who they played in all those road and neutral site games, it wasn't like they were playing the little sister of the poor. Played Creighton, played Drake, played Purdue, played Samford, who is going to be in the big dance, played New Mexico. Top-notch competition. But then once they got into conference play, they were an outstanding team. They took on Jackson State. They won easily here in their opener. Now, this line has moved from like 3.5 up to 5, maybe 5.5 in some places. But I like Texas Southern in this game. Have I dipped my toes in this conference at all this season? No. But I have followed it. And I like Texas Southern in this game. Listen, you know, Alabama A&M, despite yesterday's win, just 11-21 on the season. So again, I like Texas Southern in this spot. So of the three plays, how would I rate them? Arizona would be number one. Surprisingly, Texas Southern would be number two. And then South Florida would be number three. So that's it for Friday. I wish you well, guys, and we'll talk again on Saturday. Good luck, everybody.